Órale, órale, órale. Los Tres Chingones Boxing Cholo Trucker here. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Okay, Holmes. Quite a few things going on. I definitely want to talk about the fight over the weekend. I was there when we're talking about the Figueroa versus Manzayo fight. Look, man, I got there with the what's up, Puerto Rican rum. I got there with the final prelim fight going on, right? Because I had some stuff to do during the day, so I didn't get there to watch all the prelim fights. So I was there for all of the Showtime broadcast fights, man. Good stuff. First time I've ever taken my beautiful, crazy loca wife to a fight. Her and I, we've gone to many sporting events. She's a big sports fan, not too big on boxing, but I'm like, hey, you know what? Come check this out. And she went, she enjoyed it. I had some pretty good floor seats. However, we were sitting behind the blue corner. So it kind of obscured our view a little bit, man, when the fight went to the other side of the ring. Kyole Impala, Orale JC. Um, so that was kind of the only thing. I was like, damn it, like man, Holmes, pay some pretty good fatty out for these floor seats, but now we kind of miss a little bit of the action because the ring corner is kind of blocking our view. But nonetheless, Holmes, it was cool. I got to meet Leo Santa Cruz. I chopped it up with him a little bit, and I'll tell you guys what he told me. And I got to just take a picture with Ray Vargas. I didn't really get a chance to chop it up with him. He was in a little bit of a hurry. But Yole dos Matador. All right, man. So kind of want to know what you guys saw on TV, man, because I have not had a chance to go back and watch it. If we start with the co-main event with Jarrett Hurd, who actually the doctor stopped the fight because of a big old gash in his mouth. At first, from where I was sitting, all I could just see was blood on his face. I wasn't really sure how bad he was busted up. I kept on seeing the referees on the outside of the ring pointing at their mouth, like talking to each other, pointing at their mouth, making it seem like his mouth was busted. And I'm like, okay, it's got to be something with his lip. From where I was sitting, it looked pretty bad, but obviously couldn't really tell, man. And they go ahead and they stop the fight with 1 round left to go. And I was like, oh man, you know what? That was kind of a bad way to go. But then I came home and that I did see. I did get to check out, like, hey, what happened to Jarrett Hurd? So I was able to look it up and I saw the big old gash on the side of his mouth. And I'm like, wow, dog, that was pretty bad, so yeah, good fight. I thought he was kind of running out of gas, to tell you guys the truth, man. I thought Jarrett Hurd was losing the fight, and I thought he was going to lose the fight. Actually, I thought he had good moments. It was a little bit of a back and forth fight, but honestly, man, I thought he was losing the fight, man. Like I said, he had good moments. I enjoyed that fight. I enjoyed all the fights, to tell you guys the truth. But he had a pretty good fan base there for him. They had a good section of a bunch of T-shirts for Swift Hurd and all that. He had a little good thing going for him for his comeback. I guess his comeback fight. I have not heard of Jarrett Hurd fighting in quite a long time, man. So if you guys know how long it's been, I remember when he was an up and coming fighter and the beef that he had with the Charlo brothers, the fight they had with Lara. I thought he was doing some pretty damn good stuff. And I had not heard of Jarrett Hurd fighting in quite a while, man. So I don't know if this was his comeback fight or what, but I thought he was doing all right. But no, he was gonna lose the fight either way. So Puerto Rican rum. How's the crowd? Okay, so once the main card started, right? Because I was there for the final prelim Showtime fight that they only show on YouTube. When I was there for that, the arena was kind of empty. All right. It wasn't really popping. Once the show card the show card started, it started filling up. Once the co-main event started, it really started filling up. Right when the co-main event was about to start, it really filled up. Then the main event came in. It was not a sold-out crowd. Okay, it was not a sold-out crowd. There were some empty seats, but it was a pretty good crowd. I'm gonna say, just a guesstimation, I'm gonna say it was 80, 85% full. It was about 15 to 20% empty. Good Filipino fan base. I'll tell you guys that much. Were they the majority? No, but there was a good Filipino fan base there. They had their flags, some good Filipino fight fans there. A couple with Manny Pacquiao shirts. Obviously, man, Pacquiao being the GOAT, I would say, man, when it comes to Filipino boxing. So yeah, the Filipinos were there, man. They were there in full force. So good, man. I'm glad. We were actually sitting right next to a couple that was actually rooting for Magsayo. They weren't getting loud, they weren't getting stupid, they weren't doing any of that nonsense, but they were rooting for Magsayo. They were clapping like, "Come on, Magsayo, come on," But they were being very respectful, man. I didn't see anything happen. I didn't see any fights, any altercations, nothing of that sort, man. I saw a lot of respect all the way around. Okay, getting to the Brandon Figueroa and Mark Magsayo fight. All right. First of all, Brandon Figueroa, I get it. Your nickname's the Heartbreaker, so you come out to that horrible, horrible song called Heartbreaker by, who sings that song? Is it Joan Jett? I forgot who sings that song, but that's a terrible song. You want to come out, your nickname is Heartbreaker, you come out as HBK. You come out with Shawn Michaels music. That's how you win them over, Holmes. You do not come out with that horrible Heartbreaker song. You come out with the Heartbreak Kid song, the Shawn Michaels song. That's how you get down, Brandon. But either way, look, of course, the Chicanos, Mexicanos, the raza was there, man. They had the Mexican flags flying around. Pinoy support their fighters. Yeah, they do, man. And you know what? Like I said, it was all respectful, man. I didn't see not one. Like I said, right next to us, sitting exactly right next to us, was a couple rooting for Mark Magsayo, and it was all good, man. It was all good. So, as the fight starts taking off, okay, so it's clear to see that Brandon's a little bit taller, but his body seems a little slimmer. Magsayo's body seems a little bit more full. He looks a little bit more buff. And my goodness, man. My goodness. Look, Combs. Brandon really needs to brush up on his defense. His defense cannot just be, I can take your punches, because that's not going to go well for him going forward in his career. But he was going ahead and taking everything and the kitchen sink, I would say. Magsayo was able to hit him with just about everything. Brandon made him miss a few times, but not, I mean, I was like, son of a gun, dog. How the hell does Brandon absorb these punches? Even the ones that he blocks. It's like this guy has got some sort of chin on him, but that's not a good way to go about your career, especially if you plan on having, longevity, man, because that's not going to do you any favors, Holmes. What's up, Vince? So while I was there, you were able to hear the hits like slaps, or like cachetadas, you know. It was uh it was somewhat of a phone booth fight. I would have kind of liked Brandon to get a little bit of separation. Um, Look, man, I was a little high on Brandon Figueroa. I was, and now I'm I'm kind of leaning the other way. I don't think Brandon's all that good of a fighter, Holmes. I don't, dog. He doesn't really throw a lot of good power punches. He basically wants to fight in the phone booth and just have a lot of little short punches, man. He never really separated himself. He never really got a little bit of distance. As soon as Monzayo tried to create some distance, Brandon will just run right up on him. Now, that strategy can somewhat work. I get it. You want to throw a lot of pressure on Monzayo, and it looked like Monzayo was gassing out, and we'll get to that. We're definitely going to get to that. I just want to touch on Brandon here, man, because I was pretty high on Brandon, but man, Holmes, it looks like Brandon, his all his fights, his whole game plan is let's just stay close and let's just bang away. A lot of short punches, but you do not get a chance to grow any separate yourself and throw some real damaging punches. It's just a lot of shoe shine, a lot of short punches here and there, man. And Brandon does not have any real good defense, man. Let me see. What's up, Hectic? Cholo driving home, but still listening. Gracias, man. Do you think Figs has peaked? Um, JC, I don't see anything new in his game. I don't know if he's peaked. He's still young. Can he get better? Yeah, but I don't really see. I don't really see any other, it's almost like he's showing his whole hand. Like, hey, this is what I do, this is who I am, and this is how I get down, and that's about it. I don't see any difference, man, from any of his fights. So I don't even know how much power he really has in his punches because he never gets a chance to take a step back, to have a little distance where he can, somewhat load up on a few of his punches, man. All his punches are all up close and personal. And that's, man, dog, it's entertaining. At the same time, at some point, it's like, okay, man, come on, dog, get a little separation, throw a couple of jabs, and throw that power punch behind it. But I never saw that. Hey, what's up, Pete Town? How you doing? All good, brother. All good, man. I was there at the fights, and I want to get into that a little bit more, man. So let me see. Without separation, there's no power. Exactly. Without separation, there's no power, man. I don't think he can get better, unfortunately. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe, maybe not. This could be just the way, like, hey, this is me. This how I get down, and that's it. Don't try to teach me anything different. And look, it's been working for him. But you get in there with a very, very skillful, pure boxer, that's really not gonna work, man. I mean, the only thing that you can really hope for is that you push so much pressure, is that you tire the guy out, which in this fight right here was somewhat working. Now, again, I have not gone back to watch the fight, Holmes. That's why I'm very interested to hear what you guys got to say, because I was there in person. So Monzayo, I don't know how many times the Vato fell, but he fell, I don't know, dog, what, like 5 times? Now, from where I was sitting, they all looked like they were slips, or if he just fell, if he just collapsed, I don't know, dog. He looked like he was getting exhausted. Now, Figueroa, his stilo, he put so much pressure. always running up. Figueroa, I mean, that's one thing I gotta give to that kid is he never shies away from the action. You try to create a little separation, he runs, he jogs to you, and no, 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 we're right here. I'm on you. I'm all over you. So that seemed to somewhat wear out Manzano because he was falling on his own. However, and by the way, man, I'm not listening to the crowd because the crowd starts, oh, come on, boo, ref, you suck, you suck. It's like, no, 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 Holmes, come on. Let's be real. He did not get knocked down. However, there was one where Manzano was up against the ropes and it looked like he was going down, possibly on his own, but Figueroa landed a short left hand right to Manzano's mascara, right to his dome, Holmes. And Manzano went down, and at least from where I was sitting, I stood up because immediately the ref was like, no, no, that's another, slip or just fall, whatever. For that one, I did stand up. For that one, I did stand up and say that was a knockdown. That was a knockdown. How it looked on television, I don't know, Holmes. But being there, that one definitely looked like a knockdown. Let me see. The problem is Cholo that he is winning, so he's not going to change. You know what, Puerto Rican Rum? That is a great point. That is a great, great point, dog. You know what? There's that whole old saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But in this case, Holmes, you know what was being broken down is his life. What's being broke is his life, man. These type of fights, they're going to take years off his life and years off his career. But yeah, he probably doesn't look at it that way. He's probably just saying like, hey, Holmes, I'm winning. So if I'm winning, what's the problem? It's probably not going to catch up to him till later on in his life, man. Cholo, let's be honest. Stephen Fulton couldn't really outbox him. Nobody else at that weight will. Look, I thought Stephen Fulton did win the fight. I know people said that Figueroa won that fight. I disagree. I thought Fulton did. I thought it was a really close fight. I thought it was a really competitive fight. But I did have Fulton edging out the victory in that fight. Should they do it again? I would probably favor Figueroa, man, since if they do it again, it will probably be at 126. But getting back to this, okay, you had the 2-point deduction on Manzano, right? The 2-point deduction because he kept holding Brandon's arm and holding his arm that he did. Not only was he doing that, but Manzano kept lowering his head like big time, Holmes, big time, like Chewy said, right? But he kept holding his arm. So I'm glad the ref took a point away. When he took the second point away, I'm like, okay, a little bit of a reach, but I don't really have a problem with it. However, I want to say this, man. If it was not for those 2-point deductions, I'm very curious, man. Who do you guys think won that fight? If it were not for the 2-point deduction, because I did not score the fight. All right. I was sitting there sipping on Lil Jack and Coke, enjoying the atmosphere. I had a blast, dog. It was all that and a bag of chips. But I was enjoying it. But just watching it round after round after round after round on the Serio tip, if it were not for those 2-point deductions, I don't even really want to get into the judges' scorecards, man. I'm just going off what I saw. If it were not for those 2-point deductions, honestly, Holmes, I thought Manzano won the fight. You add in those the 2-point deduction, now I can see Figueroa winning that fight. But I don't know, man. It seemed like Manzano was landing the more powerful, cleaner punches, dog. At least from where I was sitting at. Let me see. He had to put pressure on some other him. He would have been taking big shots from the outside. Remember, he was going up in weight, fighting a bigger puncher. You know what, Pete Town? That may be true, but man, Holmes, it's like all his fights are like that, though. All of his fights are like that. Now it worked here, and it did tire Manzao out, where to a point where I thought Manzao was just falling on his own just to catch a breather. Did you notice he kept changing southpaw orthodox? It seemed for no reason. I did notice that, Vince. I did notice that, man. He would go southpaw and then he would go back to righty, to conventional. I don't know why, but he was just doing it, maybe just to keep throwing him off. It did look like Manzao did get tired, and I did think that at some point Brandon probably had a chance to finish him. However, Brandon would just not stop with the smothering. He would just keep on, just let's fight in a phone booth. Let's fight in a phone booth. And it's like, hey, Holmes, if you got him a little bit tired, you might want to get a little separation and start throwing a couple of good chingazos, man. You could possibly finish him, or if not, knock him down, a real knockdown that can really count. I thought he truly did knock him down one of those times. All the other times, it just looked like Manzao just fell on his own. One of those times that Manzao fell, I thought he was just kind of buying himself some time, man. See, the body shots were taking a toll. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was a good, entertaining fight. I enjoyed it. Fulton supposed to turn water into wine, according to a lot of the brothers. Hey, look, man, I thought Fulton did actually beat Figueroa. I thought it was a good competitive fight, but I edged it out for Fulton. I had no problem with them giving it to Fulton. Good fight. Good fight. Again, if they do it again, and if they do it at 126, I would favor Brandon. However, this is Brandon, though, man. When people say somebody's one dimensional, usually people take it like it's a super negative thing. For Brandon, it's been working, but if we're gonna be real, man, he is pretty one dimensional. It's just smother. Let me just smother the fighter and try to wear him out. Put so much pressure down, wearing him out. So Manzao seemed like he ran out of gas, and it was at that time that I thought Figueroa was getting his rounds in. Not by a long shot, but he was still getting his rounds in, man. But I'm telling you guys, at least for me, I don't know how anybody outside, but at least for me, if it were not for the 2-point deduction, in my opinion, I'm not talking about the judges who scored the fight. I'm talking about if I were a judge. If it were not for the 2-point deduction, honestly, man, I thought Manzao would have won. I thought Manzao won the fight. I just thought he landed the more cleaner, bigger punches, man. I don't think Brandon, he landed some punches. Don't get me wrong. Do not get me wrong. Brandon definitely did his thing. But after every round, I just kept on sitting back in my chair saying, like, damn, that's another Manzao round right there. Not all the rounds, but now you got to add in the 2-point deduction that the referee took away from Manzao holding the arm, which he was, and I'm glad the ref took the points away. But now that kind of just leads me to believe, like, all right, man, was Brandon really going to win this fight? Yole Joaquin. Definitely snaps Fig's head back. He did. He was snapping Brandon's head back. I don't really remember a time where Brandon. Now, it's not, you don't go scoring the fight just by who's getting, who got their head back, right? But at the same time, man, just looking at it, I'm just kind of like, man, again, not every round, but after a lot of rounds, I'm like, that's another Manzao round right there. Oh, here's another round. Oh, that's another one for Manzao. Ooh, Brandon's having a good moment right here. Orale, Manzao's coming back. That's another Manzao round. That's how the fight was going, man. And I was starting to get pretty nervous. Like, you know what? This is it, man. This is it for Brandon. It's over. But you got the 2 point deductions. The scorecards, I don't really want to get into it. I thought they were really ridiculous. But oh well, man. One, Brandon Face was busted up. I thought Manzayo. Look, I wouldn't be mad at a rematch. I really wouldn't. If they choose to do it again, I would not be upset at it, man. I think Manzayo earned a rematch. The fact they kept falling was a little bit weird for me. The fact that the referee did not call one of those a knockdown. Again, I got to go back and watch it on TV. Maybe it really wasn't a knockdown, but all the other ones were he just kind of fell on his own. Let me see. So, nonetheless, Brandon Figueroa wins. They give it to him. And yeah, there you go, man. What's next? I really don't know, man. Is he gonna wait to see what happens with Stephen Fulton? Is Fulton really gonna go up to 122? I'm sorry, to 126 and have that fight? That'd be pretty cool, I guess. A rematch between these two guys. It was a good fight. So heck, let's do it again, man. In my opinion, Manzayo was whooping Figs first through 6 rounds, but Mag ran out of steam and got sloppy. That's fair, JC. That's fair. That's kind of something around what I saw. The first through 6 rounds. That's about fair. For me, that's not to say that all the rounds after that, Brandon won all the rounds after. No, I could still probably give Manzayo a round or two after the 6th round. But you gotta get the 2 point deductions. So that's where it really hurts, But no, that's pretty much what I saw, man. Brandon fought a smart fight for himself. Yeah, look, if he has to smother, I don't know if that's strategy because that just kind of seems the way he fights. However, in this one, yeah, it definitely worked. He smothers him, puts a lot of pressure, doesn't let Manzayo load up with any real power punches. Although, if there were any real power punches landed in this fight, it was by Manzayo. But look, Brandon, as soon like I was saying, man, as soon as there was just a little bit of breathing room, Brandon would run up on him. He would not let him breathe, man. And it worked. It worked. It tired out Manzayo. Now, being there, I ran into Ray Vargas, and I didn't really get a chance to chop it up with him. Just took a picture with Novato, but I did get a chance to chop it up with Leo Santa Cruz. I took a picture with Novato. He was a cool dude, man. He's over there drinking his drink. I got a chance to chop it up with him a little bit, and he's saying he's waiting to get some word to get back into the ring, man. Now, here's the thing about Leo Santa Cruz, at least from what he told me. He is going to be campaigning at 130. So there were talks, well, at least whenever I talk to people about boxing and Leo's name comes up, everybody just says, oh, he needs to be down at 126, 126. Well, I heard it from the horse's mouth himself, man. And I was like, okay, so you're going to be doing your thing at 126? He said no. He said he's done at 126 and he is shooting for the top at 130. It's not like I got to sit down and have a long conversation with Novato, but that is what he told me, man. So I guess we're going to be seeing Leo Santa Cruz at 130. Let's see what he does there, man. Some people think he's too small. I'm sorry. That he's too small for that weight class. Well, he is getting older. So I don't know, man. Maybe making 126 is a little bit of an issue for him. He doesn't seem like a big dude, but again, man, I don't know what to expect from Leo Santa Cruz. Do I think he can make it to the top of 130? No, I don't, Holmes. I don't. I think he can be competitive, but no, dog. I don't think he can be top dog. at 1:30. But anyway, guys, one more thing. Well, two more things. I'm sure everybody's heard that Spence and Crawford, they're talking again, and I'm not even gonna entertain that. We'll entertain that at the end of the week to see what happens from here to there. I'm not gonna entertain that. I'm exhausted with that damn fight, home. So I'm exhausted with that. So I'm not even gonna entertain it. Let's see what happens from now till Friday, and then we'll chop it up there. But I do want to bring this up. Last night, Bobby Garcia hit me up and told me that it is a done deal, the venue. Ryan Garcia versus Tank Davis at the T-Mobile Arena. Remember, we were all told that the fight was a done deal, but there was no venue yet. Bobby Garcia hit me up last night and said the venue set, it's not going to be at Allegiant Stadium where the Raiders play, that it's going to be at the T-Mobile Arena. So that's it. The venue set, according to Bobby Garcia, that is, man. I have no reason not to believe my boy Bobby. I talked to him today. As a matter of fact, he told me again that it's at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. The venue is set, the date it's set. So yeah, there it is, man. So hopefully we can see that where it's really set in stone. I'm taking his word for it. But yeah, T-Mobile Arena. So as far as it, being, 30,000 fans, using Allegiant Stadium, that's not going to happen. It's going to be at a smaller venue at the T-Mobile Arena, which I think holds somewhere about 17,000 fans or something like that. So yeah, man. So I was talking to him. He told me the ticket prices, and if what he's saying is true, which again I have no reason not to believe him, I'm not going. Charlotte, dog. If the ticket prices are really $600 for the nosebleeds, chales, Holmes. Chales, man. But Andres, T-Mobile Arena official. My book hotel. I'm staying at Bunny Ranch. If those are the real ticket prices, we're planning something out. So we'll see what we can do, man. But anyway, chingones, just want to come on here, man, and chop it up with you guys for a little bit and see what's going on at the 25th. Hell yeah, dog. Hell yeah, homie. See, we got some good stuff coming up, Holmes. We got some good stuff. That's why I am sick and tired about talking about fights that are not gonna happen, Holmes. So damn that, man. Let me see. Pay 2,000 for Canelo. I know, Andres, crazy, dog. Crazy. 600. According to my boy Bobby, that's what I heard, man. They're doing the conference tomorrow. Yeah, they are. And they're not, from what I understand, they're not going to be going on tour for all this stuff. So, which they don't have to. The fight is what, 7, 8 weeks away. You don't really have time to go on tour, man. You got to start training. And this fight's pretty popular. It sells itself. You don't really need to go on tour and promote this. You can just, promote this. Like, they're going to do a lot of TikTok and a lot of social media promotion for it. But anyway, chingones, man, that would be it tomorrow in Espanol. And on Friday, we'll be back to do it again. Cholo Trucker here, Los Tres Chingones Boxing. I'll catch you guys on the next one.